Okay, I have everything recording, so we'll go ahead and start. I call this meeting to order. The City of Bisbee Transit Advisory Committee held on Wednesday, February 19th, 2020 at 915 South Tollville Road, Bisbee, Arizona 85603. We'll do a roll call. Kathleen Sandoval
Present.
is here. Richard Duchesne, did you say that? Richard is not here. Donna Pullen.
Here.
Our local ADA representative, that position is vacant. Humberto Rivera.
Present.
Luis Pedrosa.
Present.
Cynthia Robles. Kata Williams is not here. Connie Castellum. Jessica, how do you see your last name?
Leah.
Yeah. You're here, right?
Present.
Aubrey Perry is not here. Lorena Valdez.
Present.
I am here. Jesus Otto. And Mike Normand is not here. So we'll do a call to the public. We have nobody here from the public, so we'll move on to item 2. Discussion and possible approval to accept Judy Flowers' resignation from the TAC committee. She submitted a letter sometime before August, right?
You missed approval of the minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Item 1, approval of minutes from August 21st, 2019.
I move we approve the minutes from August 21st, 2019.
We have a motion. You would like to second?
I second.
Okay. See, Donna, pulling, motion, Umberto, second. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those nay. Those minutes are approved. Okay, now we can go on to item 2. Item 2, discussion and possible approval to accept Judy Flowers' resignation from the TAC committee. As I was saying, I believe she's decided to resign sometime before August 26th. Is that correct? It looks like it actually went to mayor and council in September 3rd, so it's already approved, but I suppose that we should still accept it.
You have a blank page?
A blank page?
On here.
Oh, do you do?
Oh, okay. So I suppose we should go through and if we have an approval to accept the resignation, we should go ahead and do a motion and a second.
I approve to grant Judy's request.
Okay, Jessica motions to accept. We have a second.
A second.
Who was that?
Donna.
Donna. Okay. All those did approve to accept Judy's resignation signify by saying aye. Aye. Those nay. It's accepted. Motion passes unanimous. Let's move on to item 3, the ridership report and other news by Mr. Rivera.
Okay, I have the copy for the ridership report. One more.
Oh, boy, I always loved to look at this.
Lots of numbers. But I'll just go and very briefly just show you the first graph there. It just shows month by month. If you go on the column 2019-2020, that's the current year, and we're in January, so we have some good numbers there, 3,086 riders, which is a good increase from last December and even from the last year in January, same month. Next you have a little chart there, you can see the comparison between the different years. And on the bottom you go and see all the different demographics, number of miles, hours, passengers, days of service, the average daily ridership. And you can see other different demographics there. Any questions on those graphics?
Where's the passes in there, though? Monthly passes. Oh, okay.
It's right there.
The monthly,
Monthly passes,
month.
it from the bottom up, the third
It's
column.
the third one up. I
up.
see you. Yeah.
Monthly passes, what are those, what passes are those? Just,
Are those the
They
little
purchase
blue
them.
ones, or are those the green and
The
yellow?
blue, they're
The little blue ones they get from the bus
That's the
driver.
picture.
Yeah.
okay.
That's a helpful on the bus, that little pass.
And those we're going to have a price change, because if not, we're probably not gonna get a grant from Seago.
Well, they pay
Nobody wants-
75 cents for it, they're already paying $1 to ride the bus, and I'd rather pay $1 for 30 days of riding the bus than paying $1 every single day.
Well,
it's a
well,
good
that's
thing.
actually an item on our agenda, so we can
Okay,
discuss that. That's definitely
I don't mean to
something-
jump in, but I'm all new to all of this.
Sure,
so-
absolutely.
You're good.
absolutely. We'll discuss.
That's good.
Yeah, we'll go over that. Any other questions on that page?
No.
The next page, it's the same, but it's more detailed. Day by day, you can see the ridership from the first day until the last of the month there. You can see all the columns, the different demographics there, the totals on every type of rider that we have. Okay.
So, I'm sorry, because I'm still familiarizing myself with all of the financial aspects of this bus, and so this is part of our matching grant, right? This goes towards our
Yeah, it goes
20%.
for yeah.
So is that, excuse me, I haven't compared this, so, is it consistently around $800 or $900 a month?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Okay, next page, we go now to the Cochise Connection ridership. This chart shows month by month number of riders. This January was 302 riders. It's another one that's showing increase in ridership. So it was another good month for the Cochise Connection.
Does that compare? Oh, I see, here we go, 600 budget.
Yeah. The next page is also has to do with the Cochise Connection, but this is the boarding where people get out of the bus. You can see the different bus stops we have.
Okay.
Customs, that's the Customs bus stop in Douglas. You can see the last month, January, 130 people got off out of the bus stop in Customs, and then you move on to the next bus stops, the Visitor Center, which is in Douglas too. Then the college in Douglas. Next we have the Lyric in Bisbee. And if you go all the way down to the end, one to the left, the Sierra Vista one is the one that we have the largest amount of people boarding there. So.
Where in Sierra Vista is that?
Transit.
To the transit
Okay.
center.
The transit center, yeah.
The Canyon Medical Center is surprising to me how low those numbers are. And that was one of the major reasons why we started the Cochise Connect in the first place, was for hospital visits.
All the indicators were telling us that it was probably gonna be Canyon Hospital, but you can see the numbers there, it's not.
Mhm. Is there any consideration for, I mean, I know you changed the Palominas location, hoping that that would increase that ridership from that valley area. Do you have any insights into changing locations to these other ridership areas that might improve the, I don't know, maybe.
We would need to look at the numbers a little bit more, give it a little more time and see if there's any patterns that
Yeah.
might change. If it's a seasonal or if it's, just to get a more correct idea of, before we propose any changes on the bus stop.
Cause this stops at Canyon, the Cochise Connection. It stops there coming in only, right? Or where,
The hospital, it's
it's a coming into
coming in.
from Bisbee.
From Bisbee.
It doesn't stop on the way back.
No, it just
around.
comes in, but it picks up passengers also.
We've done a little outreach to Mixville and Palominas. We sent mailers out with free passes.
Oh, you
To
did?
go ahead and see if they
Yeah.
wanna experience the Cochise Connection with a free
Right.
pass and hopefully get some more ridership out of that, but we did not get a whole lot of
Right.
success with that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, next strategy is to maybe go out there to the community, face to face, and make some contact with some people. Because we thought that there is great
Yeah.
potential with that community there,
Right.
but it's just the numbers haven't shown that so far. But I think we'll continue trying, but I feel like there is potential that those folks wanna go into Sierra Vista for
Right.
some of these reasons, either the
Right.
doctor, the Cochise College, or
Yeah.
shopping. So, I don't know, I think that's something that we need to keep working at.
That is a difficult location only, if you're 1 foot walking from a home, the homes are spaced far apart, it's
Right.
not easy to get even to the canyon,
Yep.
whatever that store is, the gas station store there.
Canyon
It's just
General,
it's a challenge.
Then the other thing, what's interesting to me is the deboarding in the Sierra Vista Transit. I mean, that's not a place to go, it's a place to connect.
Mhm.
So people are actually connecting to go somewhere else. So there could be more locations that, they may be connected to the college, to the hospital. It's just, the times may not align to what they're wanting to,
Gotcha.
but
Yeah.
there's a lot of deboarding there.
That they come out of transit.
There's a lot of deboarding there that
Mhm.
we don't know exactly where those folks are going to.
Exactly.
But it's interesting, I mean, they're going somewhere.
So is it worth having somebody like sit it right on the bus and survey people that are actually on the, I mean, the bus driver can't, the driver's driving, you know? I wonder if it's possible to actually have a rider that does that on the bus, whatever the busiest day of the week is.
You know what we need, we should add a question, because we're gonna survey this spring. That would be a good question to add to our survey. What was your destination? What was the destination for riding the Cochise Connection?
Yeah,
And get some more feedback.
right.
We got some pretty good responses last time we did a survey, so.
Did you do door-to-door,
Paper.
mail?
Oh, no, with
How do you-
the riders on the bus.
Yeah.
the
Oh,
riders,
you
they
did
would-
it with the bus?
The bus driver
Perfect,
would
there
give
you
them a
go.
little
They
paper.
just did one the other day on the Bisbee
okay.
bus.
Yeah, it's directly to the right, so we just have
Oh, nice, yeah,
questionnaire and they answer it. and
that's
get it.
great.
So maybe posing that question is exactly what was the destination
Yeah.
that they were heading to.
Oh, because you're already doing the survey,
Right.
there you go, yeah.
Okay.
Is there-
That's all I have.
Then we addressed, Umberto, correct me if I'm wrong, but we addressed item 4.2 also, the Cochise Connection Report. That was in
That
this
was
also.
part of it, yeah.
Okay, so we'll move on to item 5, discussion on preparation and submittal of new grant. This is our grant right now that we're preparing, right?
Right, it's almost done.
We're this close.
Title VI is like giving me a really bad headache. I don't know
I'll
if
share
it's
with
a
you, I'll share
formatting
with
or,
you my
Okay.
answers, okay?
okay. Well, you actually said
Did
a
I send
copy
that
of,
already?
of one of yours, I don't know if you changed yours or not, but
Oh.
the formatting thing, you know, I changed one thing in the whole, I was reading it last night at
Uh-huh.
home and I had the same paragraph in all the paragraphs, I was like, how did that happen? So I was driving me crazy, so today I worked on it more and I hope to have it done by 5, so that I
By
can
3,
submit
okay.
it.
By 3
Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
No, I'm gonna, I
Oh,
want
by
to submit
5
it.
today,
Today,
okay.
that's a good.
You're
I work till
like
5:30, so I can still submit it, but,
Okay,
it
okay.
just depends on,
Ooh.
if I get, I need one more thing from the attorney that was
Yeah, you
requested
should
for
get that.
finance, so as soon as I get that back.
Okay.
So I think maybe it's looking good, but we need a little bit more.
Question, there's no bus request, is there? Are you guys requesting a
Yes.
bus?
Yes,
There is
we
no,
are.
okay, cool.
Actually, we requested all capital and included a GPS, video monitoring system
Okay.
The service.
with
The-
the service.
There's a annual service fee for the monitoring so that we can access that remotely. And so we're requesting, and not to say that we're gonna get it, but from what I did discuss with the manufacturer or whoever, that the video does have the ability to record and save locally. I'm not sure even what we're doing, what's happening right now, if they're getting saved or not. But in talking with the manufacturer, that there is a service to record and access that remotely. So if something happened now, I could go onto my computer, log in, and access that video. So we did include that in our
We
CIP.
have that, right? But we were also interested in the GPS.
Yeah, that's
the
part of that.
GPS,
It's TSO.
real time?
Yes.
TSO?
But it's only for the location of the vehicle, not for the video.
So we
You're
included
looking for
the
the
cost for
video,
video and GPS.
Video
If we
and
get
GPS.
yes, if we get it, great. If we don't, then
And the
How much
bus
is that?
actually
I
has,
want to say it was.
bus actually has a year.
Yes, they
of
come
that.
with a year
They
free.
come with a year free, but we requested 2 extra years, to be able to have that.
And this is for the one you're requesting right now, right?
Yes.
Well, the
extra
bus we're
year.
requesting will come with it. What we're requesting is so that we can pay for the service for the other buses that we currently have.
Okay, all right.
Oh,
No.
2,000.
2,000?
It's 2,000
Oh,
per
that's not
bus or
bad.
the whole thing?
2,000 for the whole year?
For, actually, that was 2,000 because we requested for 2 buses. That's
Two
the,
buses.
that's the quote that they gave us.
That's
Am
for
I
the-
sharing
the
that
service.
with us? Sharing that quote?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah,
I'll
absolutely.
forward it to you,
Yeah.
so you know. what-
You have what, Hanover? Or what do you have? No, that's the
Is
signs.
that, we were, Hanover's the signs.
The
yeah.
signs, what's the other?
You know, on that subject, I mean, this is through the bus service, but in doing my research for our garbage trucks, they have very similar programs that do the exact same thing, where you can access that information remotely. I'm sure that's a possibility with doing it from them also.
That's
So I
something
definitely have a
yeah.
couple of
Okay.
proposals with those also.
We did the same thing. We started looking at our garbage trucks first.
Mhm.
And this was like years ago, right?
Yeah, 4 or 5
4
years.
or 5 years ago when we looked at our garbage and said, man, this would work for our transit buses as
Mhm.
well. But it didn't go anywhere, but we're trying to see if that could work once again, but I don't know if we'll have enough time to put it into the application this time around.
Yeah, so that's what we did. So
Alright.
So anyway, that's where the grant's at, and it will go in on time, hopefully everything's right.
any other questions or discussion on that?
No,
Okay,
Such an
let's
ordeal.
move
Such an ordeal.
on to item 6. discussion on purchase installation of new shelter for the Safeway area. And this kind of got reversed, and possible installation of an existing one the existing one is actually for the Tin Town area, and requesting a new one for the hospital area.
Okay.
The hospital shelter is within our grant application that we're submitting now. We have an existing one, shelter that came from the senior center, if I'm correct, right, Lauren?
Yes.
And so we have that over in our public works yard, and so we plan on installing it in the Tin Town area.
They're moving the one from the senior center?
No, we have one that was,
Oh, you haven't,
that was
I heard it
removed.
existing.
there is one at the senior center.
Yes, sir.
There was one there at the senior center that was removed.
Good.
We have it there at our public works yard.
Nice.
So we plan on installing that in our Tin Town area.
Yes, that's good.
And we're requesting a new one for the hospital. And we did have a request by an owner, it's Premier
Oh, yeah.
Alliance.
Alliance. They requested, I know it's not on here, but that's just on the shelter subject. They requested that for a shelter because they have a bus stop on their area.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reach out to them and say, hey, if you want one, it's currently not in our budget. It's not in our grant application. If you would like it, we'd more than happy provide you with the quote. And if you'd like to do it, we could do that for you. But we'll reach out to them and do that. So there's a possibility for that also.
Nice.
Good. You're covering all the spots that I have to go by all the time.
We're trying. We're trying.
That's all right.
I think there's a bench
They're
there,
good.
no?
No, there is nothing.
Not on-
There's only
not on the
only a
corner.
sign.
Not on the corner.
Only a
We also
sign.
requested benches, 10, so,
Yeah, because there's nothing along Napa Highway.
yeah, there are a few.
I've never seen a bench anywhere, but I do know the riders that are down towards, what is that road that comes out? Not Barnett, but it's another one that comes across, and I see a lot of pickups on both sides of the road, so.
They're not.
Oh, by the big buffalo.
Yes, yeah, the old little Charles.
There's a
yeah.
buffalo
Can't
on
remember,
the side
yeah,
of the road.
Yeah.
I don't remember what that road is. I know what
The old Cochise Drive.
Okay.
Okay.
We saw
Any
the
other-
one at Safeway, I mean, maybe that also would be a good place to, you think, changing the San Jose stop to Safeway for Cochise Connection, now that we have a
Oh, that is a,
That is a pretty popular spot.
Yes,
There's a lot of
no,
riders to Safeway.
they stop down at the San Jose Square, the connection,
Oh, no, right.
goes to the San
That's
Jose.
a pretty popular spot. Well, we have our stop. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but where it's at is it's on the side of their parking lot, and so there's actually a large area.
It's a good
enough-
area for
enough
the
area
connection.
to maneuver the
Absolutely.
big bus?
Oh, yes,
The
it's
only
got a whole parking lot.
issue there would be the bus, it's too long,
Take a look at it.
but
We have
I
a
haven't
stu-
seen, did you modify the sidewalks or anything on there?
No,
Just-
no,
just
it's
put
actually-
the shelter.
the bus stop is actually within the Safeway property. So we did go and request approval, and they were okay with it. They met us there when we did the installation, so we did meet their requirements. We put it next to a handicap ramp, so it definitely meets all the ADA regulations, and so you should take a look at it.
We'll
I
take a look.
think there's plenty of room to make that turn
Yeah.
and come back around and come back out the same exit.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Take a look.
Okay,
Good
we'll look
idea.
at it, yeah.
Okay. If there's no other discussion, we can move on to item 7, discussion on fee change for senior citizens monthly passes and possible distribution of free bus pass application on buses. So this is something that we've had some discussion in the past, and this is what we were talking about. Currently, right now, we charge, what is it for the monthly pass?
well, for senior centers,
Senior
senior
citizens.
citizens it's 75 cents, for some reason, I don't know. why.
So we're not quite
That's
sure where that came
blue
from.
pass.
Yeah, and so here's the issue that comes with that, is that there is a free monthly pass. However,
Yes.
nobody
It's a free
wants, it's,
yearly pass.
For the yearly pass, I'm sorry.
Oh, the yearly.
The yearly
Yeah,
pass.
The green
How-
one,
When
the
it's-
But
green
what,
one.
but in order to get that, you have to come in, fill out an
Yeah.
application,
Yes.
then we send it to Douglas, right?
Bring
They fill
documentation,
out, they
which
fill
one
everything out, they
wants to
send it back. So for a lot of people, they feel that it's more convenient for them to just pay the 75 cents
Yeah,
for a month and get it.
sure.
However, that causes a problem with our grants. We don't get enough we don't get enough applications, and so it's possible that we may be losing grant funding because of that. We have been in conversations with the city of Douglas, and they've advised us that it's probably a better idea for us to raise that fee so that we can get people to actually apply for that free pass.
Yeah.
So that's I know Lorena, what were we looking at doing? Do we want to take that soon to council?
Yes.
What were we talking about?
Take it, to council, to get that changed a little bit higher, so that, you know, it's probably easier to come and do the paperwork, wait about a week and a half, two, get your pass, but versus, paying $15 or whatever, we're gonna put it up to.
Right.
What were we looking at changing that monthly
I
pass
thought it
to?
was 15,
15?
yeah, because it's 25 usually for a monthly pass.
For the
an
adults,
adult.
the regular.
Right.
So if we charge the
So if
seniors
we charge 15 for the
15.
seniors, it's a little less.
Yeah,
But it's not that low where they don't wanna come in and do
right.
the bus pass.
And it's not about revenue, it's what's important, it's not about revenue, it's about driving those passengers to seek out the free pass,
Right,
that Seago actually pays for those rides.
Right.
right.
And if Seago doesn't see those rides happening through that free pass, their funding will either decrease or
Or go
basically
away.
go away, yeah.
And then we won't have matching funds,
Right.
since that's one of our matching funds.
And that's
amount.
about 30,000 or something?
28,000, yeah.
So it's important that it's not a revenue driver, it's more of a, let's steer these folks into.
Yeah, you're actually going to pay less. Come,
Yeah.
please come. You know,
Please
it's a
come
little,
in,
a little bit of an
right away,
inconvenience,
right.
but we can.
And
You're
it's
gonna get
once
it
a
for free.
year. Right,
So
it's once a
can
year.
we decrease the inconvenience of it? Can there be a way that we can, I'm just saying,
Go ahead.
Well,
well, I'm
No,
already
because of
getting.
the-
What is your
my
idea?
head knows.
Yeah, it's
Donna,
federal
what is your idea?
guidelines that we're having to follow.
Say
Whenever it's federal guidelines, and whenever there's benefits like that involved, the feds really ask for some sort of
documents.
documentation.
Oh, no, I'm not saying not have a documentation, but what I was suggesting is that, that there be a way to provide the application to perhaps a bus driver.
We can do that, but they
And
still
that the
have to
bus
bring the
driver
other
deliver,
stuff.
I'm sorry,
They would still need to come in
to
and,
pick up the pass.
well, not only that, bring me their ID.
And
their
proof of
utility
residency,
bill,
that's the
and,
hardest part for a
award.
lot of these
The-
people,
the
is
utility bill, the
proof of residency,
Yes.
a utility bill. All I ever do is online, the only bill I actually have in my hand, because they don't wanna do it, is the water company.
Mm-hmm.
I can't provide a bill for any of my other utilities, because everything is online, unless you wanna look at my.
You have to
phone.
go online. You can print
You
it.
can print it from online.
As if I ever print from my phone.
Well, that's the problem of.
Or
You
send
could
an email it
Bring
to
in your
me or
phone and we'll
But
take a
that's-
picture of it and
but
put it
that's all
there.
right, that's all right, you know, that's the thing that I see is
The glitch.
that's the only little glitch I see,
Sure.
is showing proof where you live.
Um.
They'll find
Yeah.
a way.
I don't know
They'll
that there's
find
any
a
way around it, but we can
There
definitely
isn't.
research and see if there is a way around
So
that. I
maybe
mean,
could we add this as a question, I'm just suggesting, maybe this could be added as a survey question, would you, so that writers understand, we're not penalizing you by charging you more fee, we don't want the money, we want you to come to obtain your pass to keep our numbers up. Is there a way to get that information to our Bisbee bus riders that,
Through the bus drivers, they've done surveys already, and if they're gonna present another one, getting from, the bus driver giving it to the clients on the bus and just while they're sitting there on their
Yeah.
bus ride, that's what they were doing, cause I happened to get caught up in the last one. And I thought it was very it explained it very well. And the questions were very simple to answer. And-
Is the application for that, is that something that is given to us and we have to use an application, or can we modify the wording so that we write big on the front, we say, we don't want your money, please come get your free pass.
That's,
You know, and we can have the applications there on the bus and
that's
say,
it.
I know, here's the application, fill it out, but you still have to come in, you
The
have to provide.
application is probably not the issue, the issue is having to provide the picture ID and
Right.
the utility bill
I know
and the
that,
word letter.
It
Those
really
are the,
is-
that's the issue.
I know that there's not, I know for the most part, I would, and I may be completely wrong, but I would think that the demographic that's getting the application and applying for them may not have the ability or the resources to have a cell phone that you can say,
Exactly.
here's a picture of my ID, here's a picture of my utility bill, here's the application. If that was available to them, let's just say there were. I mean, there may be. I'm sure there are some.
Where there's a will,
Is
there's
it
always
acceptable? Is it acceptable for them to email that into us? A picture of their ID, a picture of their utility bill, and the application. Is that acceptable?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So
If
I
that's
like
the case, then-
idea of put the application on the bus and explain that.
We can do that. That's what I'm. That's the point I'm getting at.
Giving you this application, but you need to provide.
Some people might not want to come in, but they can do it on their phone or
That's
their
it.
computer.
Yes.
But some people aren't going to be able to, and there's nothing we can do about that.
That's right.
I also want to add that what the purpose of it is, who you want to serve with this free ride, right? You want to serve your citizens.
Mm-hmm.
You don't necessarily want to serve, your visitors, your tourists
Right.
that are not living here, that
Not
are not,
using it.
They're not
using it. Although they
contributing
could
to
be
this.
eligible, they meet the age requirements, they may be disabled, but they're not citizens, they're not in your population, so therefore, they're not really part of your community, so that it's meant to serve those folks
Exactly.
here. And that's why the proof of residency
Sure,
is
yeah.
important.
Yes.
So that those folks
Sure,
that are
yes.
visiting, they should pay your route, they should pay their fare. They should, if they wanna ride the bus,
Sure.
they should be paying those. So it's another way of looking at it that you wanna be able to provide the service to your people
Sure.
here. So, matter of educating and letting people know.
So going back to the application thing, though,
Yeah.
that's something that we have the ability to
Yeah.
modify. It's not something that we're required to use a specific form.
Seago just has requirements that you have to meet, you have to do that, I mean, you can modify the application.
So put
just
wording
so
on the
long
top.
as you meet the
We're getting the
guidelines
information.
of the, yeah, so long as
Okay.
you're getting the information to Seago that they're requesting on your contract that you sign. I don't see
I
why-
would check with Connie because, I think that what's on your application right now is what is required through.
But we can
Money
add
that
wording
they
to the
get
top.
from CES.
That's what I'm getting at, is we add wording to the top saying,
I
We're
would
not-
check first of all,
Okay, we'll do
because I
that.
don't think that we can do that. Because
Sorry,
I know that there was one
misspoke.
modification before
hmm,
and, we had to get rid of it, so.
maybe if we just would staple a little thing to it
Yeah,
then.
I
We
would
don't
just
change the
say-
application, we'll just,
only
Just put a little
because I
flower.
don't want-
Flyer
a little
That's
thing
all
on it.
Yeah.
We don't really want your money, we just want you to fill this out.
It needs to be approved by SIBO, any changes to the application.
I think
because
we'll just do
that's- it
something
needs
like
to
that
be updated yearly. The person needs to be in person, they take a picture of the person. they
Yes.
have,
That's
ID
another issue,
and everything
yeah.
else, so
I
it's
have
to
do with
update, it needs to be updated
Alright.
Take a selfie.
yearly, because this money comes from DS, and goes to
You want me to
SIBO, they
write the
distribute
bus
it, so
now?
those are requirements from them, not,
They-
so it's.
They used to take the bus drivers used to take the pictures on their cell phones and assist with that application process. It doesn't happen every rider, it doesn't happen every day, but it takes 5 seconds for the bus driver to take that picture if the person doesn't have a cell phone themselves,
I think we got some good information, I think we definitely will make sure that we will, we'll reach out and see, maybe we leave the application, but maybe we put an
Yeah.
attachment and staple it to it or something. We'll do our best to make sure that
Because
they know
everybody
that,
is very cooperative on the bus when it comes to these little forms and
Right.
stuff. Like I said, I'm one of the few.
Some
okay.
people that ride the bus
They
that
do.
have a phone, they'll say, here, let me take your picture and I'll just email it. I mean, it's,
Where there's a will, there's always a way to take care of this, but let's check the application first.
Okay, any other discussion on that item? So we can move on to item 8. Announcement placed on Bisbee Observer on hours, locations, dates, and documents necessary to obtain senior disabled fee bus passes. Donna?
Yeah,
Same
I
thing?
just think that we just discussed it all.
Yeah.
You know, like bingo. But I just.
That's
I
an
know-
additional thing that we could do too.
I just thought I would be willing to volunteer to put it in the Bisbee Observer free calendar. The calendar in the
The
Observer,
calendar
so we're not
part.
paying. Because this February 28th one is coming up.
Okay.
And it could get into the
Yeah.
Observer on this Thursday, the 25th, so that, you know, and just put the basics in there. And have Laura put it in the calendar, just another prompt.
Why don't we, this is discussion, but we still need to get our fee adjustments to the city council to approve it, so why don't we wait until we do that and then get it in? Cause you wanna give the information about the passes, right?
Yeah,
Renewal.
just the renewal. It's the little sheet that's gone out to
This
everyone
thing.
Okay,
from Douglas.
okay.
It doesn't,
It doesn't have anything about our fees or anything?
No,
No.
No,
Okay,
that's
well
just a
then-
renewal
No, that's
for the
just
pass.
when-
It's
The
just
they have to
location,
come
when
in
it's
and
gonna
redo
be,
the-
Right.
Okay, well
it's
then,
just
yes.
another one to encourage people to get the bus pass,
Yeah.
you
Sure,
know?
okay.
So that they know, this is the regular one where.
oh, that's the better one,
It's the
yeah.
same thing, but this is what
That's for
changes.
starting in March,
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is.
Oh, good, use
the
this one,
location of the
gotcha.
Senior center.
yes.
That one is only the location of the couple.
Mhm.
This is only happening on this day,
Yeah.
and this happens at a regular basis. So which do you prefer that we use? I mean,
I
is
would
there
put
some
that.
kind of,
I would put that one.
this one?
Because that gives the whole year,
That's nothing a big deal,
and
okay,
this was
gotcha.
just a short time.
Michael, can I get a copy for the office?
Here
For
you
the
go.
Yes.
bulletin board?
Yes.
Okay.
And these we can pass around, you're giving me these to pass out,
Yeah,
correct?
you can pass it,
Okay.
make copies if you're able to make copies.
And this is always posted down at the senior center, and if they have any questions,
Yeah.
I usually answer.
Are these in the buses already?
We're gonna start giving, more copies of those to the.
That one is
It's
in the
posted,
bus.
but
It is
That
in-
one
if
is
you're able to get a
posted.
copy to
I
take
hear
it,
ya.
we'll-
Okay.
We'll provide those.
The other one was
Gotcha.
2017.
Oh, yeah.
It's posted on the bus.
Whoever designed this, by the way, good job.
Yes,
It was
very nice.
really big and clear and easy to read and yay, good. Okay.
Okay, we move on to item 9. Item 9, employee ride to work program. Offer city, county, or the Copper Queen Hospital employees 10 complimentary weekday bus rides with a show of their employee ID. Purpose is to encourage use of public transportation and increase ridership / bus passes. Ms. Pulling.
Pretty much explains it. I just thought
I'm
that,
seeing the time frame for someone that works at the hospital. In order to get there by 8 o'clock, you need to catch that bus at 7:15 in the morning from, and it gets right there within 20 minutes from Old Bisbee down to the hospital is a 20-minute ride. So that's where I want to do something, I always check the schedule to see that I'll be earlier than what I need to get there to accommodate me, and they do good. Their drivers are very good about being very punctual.
Is that something that is possible? I don't know. Does that?
Who would fund it?
I would.
I think it's just a matter that the bus is riding there anyway, and that this is an incentive to get people to use public transportation. City employees
Sounds
and
like
county
it sounds like what you're proposing is something that the city funds. Because if we're going there anyway, you're saying that we would just eat a ridership cost.
Are you talking about
There's no
doing
additional
it,
expense.
doing
I
it on
understand
a
that. I
one-time
do.
basis?
It's,
one-time basis, or?
No, she's saying
or
10
on time?
passes, 10 rides, or
if I'm
5
thinking,
rides, maybe a week.
I'm even thinking if you're proposing 10, why not do 1 day a month? We'll do 12. We do like the first Monday of the month or something. I don't know.
Because I think, for me, it felt like to have it be more of a consistent, like, if I did this for a week, for example, hey, how does that work for me? Does that work in my life? Is that gonna work
How
for
would
me?
we, okay, that makes sense to me. How would we regulate, you have 5, so you get a week free. How would we regulate you have 5? Do you have to come in and put an application so that we can give you 5 passes? How do you get those?
Maybe the bus driver can note that on, because he
Yeah, it
writes
would have to
down
be on a bus pass.
the
I
bus
think.
pass number anyway
You-
for the,
You would need to issue special bus passes, I think.
Yeah, it would have to
It would have to
be,
be
I would-
special
Different.
bus passes.
I don't think it's gonna, I don't think it's gonna be so overwhelmingly used that it's gonna be like, oh, we're gonna have 100 people doing this, you
Mhm.
know, I think maybe you'll get 3 or 4. You know, and that it's not gonna be cumbersome to just keep a note of that on the daily
While
tally.
I agree with you that the 3 or 4, the small amount that would use it, I'd have to play devil's advocate and say, what's to say that a bus driver is just not going to start handing these out? I mean,
That's
just
another
Where I
thing.
would go is you don't wanna neglect any other demographics either. If you're offering this incentives to certain people, you don't wanna neglect, oh, what about me, because I also go to work but it's not in any of these locations.
That's in my next agenda item.
Okay.
okay.
And the other thing is, you probably wanna ask ADOT if the city would be, but I don't think you can fund it continuously. You may wanna do it as a marketing campaign.
Right,
Where you say, you know
Right.
what, for this month, we're gonna issue so many, introduce you to the bus, and then from then on, cut it off. It was just a one-time cost that you incur
that's
to
right.
try and garner more ridership moving forward. Everybody gets to know the bus. You might get 1 or 2 riders to ride it constantly. That's kind of to me, it's more of a marketing type, and
That's
that's what
right.
we're encouraged to do, right?
That's right.
As transit agencies, we have to do that actually, in some form. But you do want to run that by ADOT to make sure that it's allowable, you can fund it, and that it's equal for all, and not just for certain segments of the population.
Gotcha.
I think it's a good idea, but it's going to take some more research to figure out the best way to go about it.
Because, I mean, I'm kind of going off of the experience, what we tried to do with Palominas. We offered a free ride, I mean, we took on that
You-
cost,
Mhm.
but it was just one ride that we offered
Right,
to them as a type of
right.
getting them into,
Right.
to ride the bus.
Is this something that a volunteer could do? For example, myself to contact ADOT to find out if there is or does a staff person
The
have
staff
to be the
would need to do it,
liaison
yeah.
between ADOT? I'm
Mhm.
sorry,
Yeah.
Marina, we'll do this next month. We'll do Jesus. Okay,
I think it's a good idea and something that we can look into.
Yeah.
I think it's
Suggestion, maybe a flyer to post in the places that carry a lot of our working people, which would be the courthouse, the annexes down there, the hospital,
right,
and just as an incentive. That's,
go to the,
And the other thing you can do is approach the businesses and say, hey,
Yes.
we're
Well,
trying
that's-
to do that, and.
yes.
that's really
and
what I
How
thought.
about you guys fund these passes to get your
Right.
people, you know, to use
So
public
that's the
transportation?
other thing that was part of this discussion, thank you, is to actually approach the city and say, would you be willing to finance 10 bus passes a year for your employee, you know, just as an incentive?
We just
something
did that
like
with
that.
Copper Queen, by the way, in Douglas.
oh.
So that-
They bought 100 passes from us.
Right, I think that's a potential financial contribution to our share, our 20% share, if we did that. See, or no?
Yeah, no, I agree, absolutely.
But again, that's extra legwork for a staff person, and isn't that, could somebody, reach out? It's better to have a staff person reach out to
To the officials at ADOT, yes.
not to the.
To ADOT, yeah, you're talking about the businesses?
Oh, to
No.
the
City.
businesses?
No,
City.
businesses, that's something that our committee could do, not a problem.
Okay.
Works for me.
So
Did you volunteer?
I will
Would
if
you?
you
Would
want
you
me
go?
Oh,
to.
that'd be great.
Going and seeing the main people in all these different places because I'm a local.
Great.
I'm one of those that was born and raised here.
So maybe to incentivize the company, we could
Yeah.
say, the city is willing to offer the first week of passes as a promotional if you will carry up the campaign for the year, or something like that.
Yeah, we'll,
Give it a try, it's not gonna hurt.
Check with ADOT.
yeah,
See
let's
if we
go
can-
to check with
Okay.
ADOT on something like that, but if they
Check with
wanna,
ADOT.
That's
if a
fine.
local business wanted to purchase a certain amount,
Yeah.
that's not a problem at all.
I would first start with them because I think
Get the approval
their
first.
skin in the game
Yes.
is
That's
basically
the
paying for
key.
those
Right.
bus passes that are not all expensive.
No.
The city is actually putting in the transportation.
That's it.
So
Right.
I think it's an even exchange
Exactly.
that you're not asking for a whole lot from these companies. That you need to, the city would put in the, I mean, if they do ask for that, I mean, it's really not a whole lot of money you're talking
Right.
about.
Right.
So I think these companies, especially the ones that you mentioned, I think would be,
Mhm.
Right,
to us, they paid us $150 for those
that's nice.
passes. It's
That's
nothing
Yes.
for Copper Queen.
Yeah, and it's not that the money is making that, it's changing the mentality of our way of getting around, yeah.
But it does take legwork, like you said, it does. There is legwork in doing that. In order for us to do that with Copper Queen, although as simple as it
Mhm.
sounds, that
Yeah.
we went in there to try for them to encourage more ridership,
Mhm.
took us a few months to handle that.
That's good.
Yeah, so.
But you
But
got
it's
your
well
foot in
worth
the
it.
door.
It's
You
worth
know,
it.
what a nice PR thing for the paper, for the Copper Queen Hospital, the city or the county to
Yeah.
say, look, it's what we're
Supporting
doing for
public
our employees and public transport. I mean, it's a good PR thing. Get the newspaper involved with
Yeah,
that
that's
too.
true.
Okay, any other discussions on item 9? So we can move on to item 10.
Okay,
Donna, would you like to read that one?
I think we've already done that again
Yeah.
in terms of kudos to the work that went into the Safeway bus
to put that bus
shelter.
shelter there,
it's-
yeah.
It was just, it's so well used.
Yes, I have, that is definitely a high frequented
Yes.
place. I go, I mean, really Safeway is the only place I really go shopping, so I go there, by there quite often, and I see people there all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Mhm.
And now that the rainy season is coming and people have my feedback from the ridership is that somebody's actually cares about that we're sheltered, you know, and not just sitting out there in those, out in the weather. Makes a difference, thank you.
Alright, great, thank you. I guess we'll move on to item 11, comments of the board members, just comments. I guess I'd like to start out, I know that Humberto came over and visited with me a few weeks ago, and one of the items that we discussed was the bus stop over on Nalco Highway, very south. There's a stop there that is just off the side of the road, and I guess one of the residents there have maybe having some issues with the people that are either walking through his property or it's kind of disrupting his day-to-day thing. So I did go out there and take a look. The issue that we have is one of we discussed maybe moving it to the north side of that intersection. I don't remember the road.
Is it
That
Della
intersection.
and
It's Naco Highway, and do you remember Humberto?
Could be Granada.
Granada, yeah.
Granada?
So right now it's on the southeast corner of that
Yeah.
intersection, and I looked to see if we could move it to the northeast because there's no house on that intersection. Problem is there's a drainage channel on that
Right.
side, and they're with a culvert. So it may take a little bit of actual construction work to try to grade something. It is in the county.
And it's a county road.
It is in the
so-
county, so I did look at that, and so just to give you all a heads up, I am looking to see if there's something we can do with that intersection.
Good.
We did, I know one of the other things that I discussed with Humberto was, maintenance with tires on our vehicles, and we definitely took care of that. I made that clear to our mechanics that, we need to be making sure that we're on top of those. And so we shouldn't have that issue anymore. If we do, it'll be more than just a tire issue.
Thank you for addressing that with the mechanics.
And that's all I have. Lorena, do you have anything?
I don't have
Jessica? Please.
We hired another driver that will be driving in Bisbee.
Okay, great.
March 2nd is the start date.
We'll start running by the 2nd of March. So probably by the 3rd, he'll be riding along the
From this
transit
area
right,
or
so
the-
he's gonna get trained, so.
In
What's
the
his
middle.
name?
He lives in Kings Highway.
Oh, okay.
Kings Highway, so it kind of works out.
Yeah.
We're really happy that we're almost fully staffed. One more.
Mhm.
What's the driver's name?
Bassett
Bassett?
is the last name?
Mr. Bassett?
Mr. Bassett. You know the gentleman?
Oh, he's
No,
good.
We'll get to know
We'll
him.
know the
Yeah.
first
You'll
name.
get to see him and get to know him.
Yeah.
So,
He comes from Tucson, has experience. It was really easy getting him on board. He had all his paperwork lined up, so. But he is from Douglas. He had gone to Tucson,
Good.
but is coming back.
Very nice, very nice.
Umberto, you have anything?
no, I don't have any
Donna?
comments, no.
I just would ask for, before our next meeting, that you guys watch or listen to the video. The National Public Radio did a report on offering free bus rides on certain routes for their working routes in Lawrence, Massachusetts, a small town. And so I linked the, you don't have to listen to the whole thing because it goes from New York City to Columbus, Ohio, and to Lawrence, Kansas, how all these cities have decided that, you know, it's no additional cost to the cities to have the buses be full because they're still performing the routes. It's the same route, so better to have full buses than empty buses. And so I would like to suggest that we consider that as an option in the future. And so if you have a chance to look at that NPR, start at 10 minutes into the show. Thank you.
And I have nothing because I'm too new and I'm just learning.
Great. I did have one other thing that I forgot to mention. I know Humberto had mentioned one, we had the drivers requesting to repair the lights where they park the bus, and just to give you an update, we are doing that. We have a local electrician that's going to be doing that, so it should be happening within the next week or two.
Great, yeah. Thank you.
With that, we can adjourn if somebody would like to make a motion to do so.
I make a motion that we adjourn this meeting for the day. Second?
All those approve signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Meeting adjourned.